Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Ink and Page, and I'm here today with a video for the Nature's Neutral series, and today we're actually going to be making our journal. If you are interested in following along and using this kit, I will put the link to it in my Etsy shop down below. Don't feel like you have to use this kit though. You can use whatever papers that you have around. And if the templates that I'm going to use are actually available for free in my Winter Wonder project, so I will link those as well below. Okay, so let's get started. And the first thing I'm going to do here is go over what you're going to need to do this today. Okay, so in the kit, there are covers and end papers and spines, okay? So basically what you're going to need to do is pick how many signatures you want. That's the first thing you need to do, is decide, do you want 2 or do you want 3? You have the option of 2 or 3. This is 1.5, I believe, spine, and this is a 2-inch spine. I'm going to go ahead and go with the 3-inch spine. I was going to go with the 2-inch, and then I was like, you know what? I should probably give myself some extra room. So I'm going to go with the 3 signature, not 3-inch. Sorry about that. Spine. Okay, so you're going to need to do that. So you need to pick an inner spine and an outer spine. Okay, these are the 2 that I've picked. You have the option of the ones I just showed you, as well as these ones. And the inner spine is the one with the dots, and the outer spine does not have the dots. So, and this is what it just looks like. It looks this, it's basically the same design, just in 2 different sizes. So I cut this one out because I wasn't sure, like I said, what size journal I was going to do, and I ended up deciding to do the bigger one. So I'm going to use that one. And this is the same spine, also in the 2 instead of the 3 signature. Okay. So you're also going to need to pick yourself a cover. Okay, so there's a bunch of options in there. This is the cover I'm going to use, and I printed 2 of these because I'm going to use the same cover on the back and the front. Okay, so if you're going to use the same cover, you need 2 of the same, or you can pick different covers, for your back and your front, and have those as well. So there's all different covers and end papers included in this spine. Oh my goodness gracious. In the kit. So you just can go through them and decide what you want to do. And what I did is I went ahead and I picked these for my end papers. So these are going to go on the inside of my journal. Okay. So just to recap, so it's not confusing, you need to pick a spine, you need to pick an inner spine, you need to pick your 2 outer covers, and you need to pick your 2 inside end papers. And I'm going to show you really quickly how that's going to go together. Okay, so this is what happens is the outer spine and the inner spine nest together like this, and what we're going to do is sew our signatures to this first, and then once that's done, we'll glue it in here, so it'll be a hidden spine. And then our covers just sandwich right in between here like this. On either side they do the same thing, and then you'll put your end paper on the inside like this. Okay, so it's I know it's a lot of like sort of pieces right now, but basically you're just making like an outer book and an inner book. So, and we're just going to smush them together, and that's going to be your journal. Because we're using cardstock, you can use whatever kind of paper you want. If you want to use chipboard or fabric or whatever, go for it. Because we're using cardstock in this video, though, the journal is constructed this way just to give it extra like heft and weight, so it will be durable and be able to stand up to some wear, because just like a simple plain cardstock would not probably hold up, even if it was a heavy weight. This is a 110-pound cardstock, if you're going to use a lighter weight cardstock or even a paper, what I would go ahead and do is just glue a couple extra layers of paper together. And then you'll have, you know, then it'll just be like a little bit thicker, and the glue that goes in there strengthens it up too. So, all right. Okay, so that's what you need as far as like the cover. And then you're also going to need, there is a template in there. This is your signature template. So you're going to need to cut this one out. It's on this sheet. You just need the purple one. The pink and the blue ones are for if you want to make your own spine, so that you have a template that goes like, that matches with the rest of the journal kit. So you would only use this if you're not gonna use one of these. Okay. All right. Now, the next thing you're gonna need are some signatures. Okay. And what I did is I went ahead and printed out just a bunch of pages. I prefer to print them randomly. I just pick the ones that I like, run them through on the first side, and then I'll pick a second set, and then run through the printer on the other side. Because I like to get like, I don't like to curate it to that level. You know what I mean? I kind of want to get a little surprise when I'm ready to do my journal. Okay, so what I went ahead and did is I put 8 papers in each of my signatures. So it's folded in half. Okay, so 8 like single pages, and then I folded them in half. Okay. I like to fold mine one at a time. So I would fold them each individually and then nest them together, rather than put them in a stack of 8 and then just fold them over. You get a much nicer result. You know, I have a lot of different size papers in here. I'll go over quickly what I have in here. So, you know, it still nests together pretty nicely, and it's reasonably even on the edge. Okay. So I'm just going to quickly go over what I have in this signature. So in addition to papers that I printed from the kit, I included like some random pieces. Like I have a vellum piece here. I had this tea-dyed piece of ledger that was like, I didn't use for another project. So I just went ahead and included it in here. I have some tea-dyed lined paper. This is from a composition book. I really like the composition books to provide lined pages in my journals, because you can take them apart at the spine and dye them like a whole piece of paper like this, so that they'll just go right in here. I'm always looking for any sort of book that has like a sewn binding, so that I know I can take it apart and get like a huge piece of lined paper like this. This is like some of that, it's got this already has the leaves in it. I don't know what it's called. It's mulberry paper. That's what it's called. So I had one piece of this left from something else. So it's like, this seems like the perfect journal for this. I think, I'm gonna see which way I want to have this go. I think I'll have it go this way. Okay. And then this again is from the kit. So what I did is there's 6 journal pages in the kit, so I put 2 in each signature. I don't mind repeating stuff, but it seemed like a good way to lay it out. Okay, so in addition to all of your paper items here, you're going to need some form of clip. So this could be a bulldog clip, a paper clip, one of those sewing clips with the flat backs. Those are super nice for this. Anything like that, any kind of clip. You need a pokey tool. This all is great. It's like very pokey, and it just goes right through the paper. If you don't have like a bookbinding kit, if you don't have these tools, I linked a kit in the description below that's on Amazon. They're very like, you can get one for like $7 and it will like have everything you need in it. It has the clips, it has scissors, it has the thread, it'll have a bone folder. It has like so much stuff in it, and it's just like, I think it's like $7. So I'll double check and make sure it's the right one down there. But if you're in the market for one of those, I would definitely go on Amazon. You can just Google bookbinding kit and they'll come up, and there's a huge variety, but you can get some very affordable ones on there. And then the other thing you're going to need is just glue. So any type of glue will work. So just whatever kind of glue that you regularly use or love, perfect. So I'm going to use this silicone brush to put mine on. You don't necessarily need that. I just like it. So, okay. So the first, I guess our first step here is I went ahead and clipped these 2 signatures already to prep them, so I wouldn't have to do 3. So basically what we're going to do is clip this signature together, so that we can, poke our holes in it, and we're going to use our purple template to do that. That's what's going to be for this part of it. Okay. So we're going to go here. I just noticed I used the same paper on here that I used on my cover. Okay. So then we have this here. Okay. All right. So this is my signature. So that's basically all you have to do. Just make sure your papers are nested nice and tight into this crease here on all of your signatures. Okay. That's the most important thing that you can do. And then once you have that done, you're just going to nest these guys together. Like this. Okay. Now we're going to temporarily set these aside. We're gonna do the holes for these in just a second. But before I do that, I want to get started on the cover so that my glue has a little bit of time to set while we're doing all the signature stuff that needs to get done. Okay, so what I need for this step is I need my outer spine. I went ahead and put a T at the top of mine. Just, you know, I would know which one was the top. And then I need my two outer covers, okay? I also noted for myself which one I wanted on the front. This is my front. And this one's my back. So I just put those on there to help me. Because, you know, in the thick of things, especially when you're making a video, you just kind of like, you're just blowing through stuff. And sometimes I forget or glue something on upside down. So, okay, so we have this here. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue these covers to this inside spine, okay? And it should just take us a quick second here. So then we'll have, once we're done here, we'll have a complete outer piece of our book. It'll be like the outside of it. I do this to help myself. So like I'll ink the inside of a crease so that I know like where the crease is going to be on here. Like it's a lot easier to see. And then I don't have to futz around to do that. Okay, so I'll do that. And then this will be like super easy. I love this collage medium because it's just like just the smoothest stuff ever. It spreads so nice. It's really nice. Okay, so now I got my front here. I gotta make sure I'm doing it right? Because like, okay, so this is my front here, and then I'm gonna flip this over and get this on there. So I have this on the front because that's how I want it to look. Okay. I'm going to put that in there. Oh, one other thing that I did want to mention about this is that I was like debating on like what I wanted to do for like my edges, these edges right here that come onto the front. So I did decal trim them, and then I got the genius idea to decal trim the top too, which ended up affecting the height of this front cover and my inside cover. So I literally had to trim a tiny bit off of each to make it slightly shorter. I just wanted, that's like my disclaimer. This is literally how much I trimmed off though. So it shouldn't affect the final dimensions of the journal. I just wanted to mention it in case A, you decide to do something like that, or B, you're like, what's going on with hers? So yeah, I just decal trimmed it here. Oh, and that decal trim means that I used this decal paper cutter. Tim Holtz has it. It's it'll just give you that bumpy edge. And I love it. It's one of the things I use the most in here. So that's what I did here to make that edge. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to put some glue down on this side and try to dock a little bit less so that I'll get this moving along here. Because realistically, these, like making the covers feels like a big job. And I guess it is when it, you know, the prepping, once you have the prepping done, you have all your pages printed, it's like, it's pretty easy. It's very, like, you know, all the hard stuff is done. So we just have to add on our pieces all together that we've prepped. And it honestly did not take me that long to do this, to do the prep for this. It just, you know, because it's not a ton of cutting. Mine was all folding because I printed borderless. So if you have the opportunity to do that, I highly recommend it because it just saves you a lot of time from having to trim. But actually, I don't even mind trimming. I love inking because I can just sit here and, you know, listen to something and just ink away. Okay, so I've got that. So basically now you have this one big piece like this. And that should dry pretty quickly. I mean, I think I can, we'll like just set it aside here and let it go. And then in the meantime, I'm going to do all my holes and such, so then we can get started on the sewing. So it should have plenty of time to dry in this video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my encyclopedia. I find this to be a very effective way to poke the holes in the book. I know some people use cradles. There's like all kinds of tools available. This works great. And I already had an encyclopedia, so I'm just going to try to, you know, I'm going to get this like kind of to the middle of the book here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set all of my signatures in here. Okay. I want to make sure that I have them kind of even here and kind of well nested in here. So that when I go to poke them, they will come out nice and even. There we go. Okay, I just wanted to, I like to double check there. And then I'll get these down right in the middle of this, which like just basically creates like a little natural dip there, so you can get that in there. Okay, so basically what I want to do is, oops, that says stop. So just make sure everything's oriented correctly. Make sure you got that on the top. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just kind of center this on the pages. So there's just like, you know, it shouldn't, like, as long as you don't punch it like this with this big hanging edge here, you should be fine. But yeah, I'm just going to center this on here like this. And then take a look at all of these. And then I can just go ahead and start poking. This is my, like, I pre-poked the holes in this, like, in the template just to make things a little bit easier for me. Okay, so there's the first one. Like, see, that one, like, right through, like, and this is a bunch of layers of paper. Here. And then we can do this one here. You just want to make sure you go all the way through, because the third signature or the second signature sometimes ends up with less of a hole in it than the other one. So just make sure that you go all the way through. Okay, and see how that was so quick? All right, so putting the encyclopedia away. Okay, so now we need to take this piece right here, and we are going to carefully poke holes in the template, just where the dots are. Okay, and just be careful where you put your finger, because this is pretty sharp. And you don't want to poke yourself. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, I think those look pretty good. Okay, perfect. All right, so we can put the all aside, and now we're gonna get our waxed thread. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go 3 times for each signature. It might get me a little bit extra, but I prefer to have the extra than to be short, because I have come up short before. And then you can, you know, you can always use the thread in a, you know, in the actual journal if there's any pieces left over. I like to have a couple of little leftover pieces anyway, just so I have them to use. Because somehow when you have like a cut piece, it's better than if you have to cut a piece. You know what I mean? Because you'll just use what you have, and then sometimes I'll cut a piece that's, you know, not the right size. Okay, so the only downer of my super long thread is that it's going to take a minute to pull it all through. All right, so you're going to thread your needle like so and pull it through. All right, so what we're going to do here is, all right, so we know this is the top of our signature, so we're going to start here with our first signature, okay? And we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which if you guys did the Winter Wonder project, that you already know how to do it. And I'm sure there's a bunch of veterans here that, like, seriously have, you know, can probably do it in their sleep. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, is we're going to kind of come up through the back, okay, in the middle hole. Okay, so you're going to go up through here. And depending on the width of your needle, it might be a little bit tight at first, but it's just that first time. All right, and then we're going to go in through the back of the signature. All right, and then we're going to pull our thread through, and we're going to leave a tail on the back of this, okay? Make sure you leave a decent tail, because it is extremely easy to pull this through at the beginning. So you want to have, like, you want to give yourself a good margin of error. Okay. All right, so we've pulled our thread through here. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go through here. Okay, so we're up at the top now. And then we're going to go through the very top hole in the spine piece, okay? So now we're going to go through this hole. See, like, this is when it helps to have a lot of thread, because you can just lay this on the table and, you know, you can really see what you're doing, right? As opposed to, like, if you had, like, a really short piece of thread, everything would be really tight. All right, so we're going to pull that really tight. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over. Okay, and now you're going to go all the way to the bottom hole. Okay, so we went middle, top, and now we're going to the bottom. So it's kind of a logical progression through the whole sequence. And since there's only 3 holes, it's a little bit easier. Okay, so now I'm going in the bottom hole in the signature. Sometimes you have to wiggle it a little bit. And then I'm going to pull that up and through. I'm also going to go along the back here, and I'm going to just make sure I pull on my, on my tail here. Okay, just so that I know that it's not pulling through. Okay. All right. Okay, so now we're going to go through the middle hole here. And then we're going to go through the middle hole in the back of the spine here. And just kind of try to pull this thread to the side here. Because you want it to stay on one side of the middle thread, and this one's going to stay on the other side. Okay. All right, so up we go here. Okay, and now our first signature is sewn in. Okay. There's that. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go ahead and take the clips off, and I'm just going to put one clip on each side just to keep this kind of out of our... It'll stay clipped together because otherwise you'll have pages flopping everywhere. But you won't have so many clips in your way. Okay, so we're going to get signature number 2. And we're going to put this one right on top of that one. And we're going to do the same thing over again. Okay, so we're going to go in through this middle one. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And in through the middle in the signature. I hope you can see that. I'm sorry if it's blocked. But there we go. You can see it pretty good there. So you're going to go in through the top here. Make sure mine, I just want to make sure it doesn't get caught on anything, because sometimes it does. And then one time I sewed it like completely, and it was like caught on one of these. Oh, disaster city. So if it happens, you won't be the first person. All right, so in through the top, out through the back. This is what happened exactly. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna flip this over. I guess the biggest part of this is there's just so much flipping around. All right, so now we're gonna go down to the bottom here. And through the template, and then through the journal. I'm burning through the thread here, so it's a good thing I made it so long. Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to look for my hole here. And I'm just going to pop my needle through. I think I'm going to have to wiggle it a little, just to get it through all of the pages. There we go. Woo. And then we're just going to go back in the middle. Just going to tighten that up. And then at the end, before we tie everything off, we'll just go through and pull everything tight so that everything's good. There we go. Okay. That's our tail end. All right, and now we're going to go back through the middle. Just be careful that you don't somehow get your needle through the other thread. I have done it many times. So you just have to make sure that you're coming up on one side of the thread or the other, and not the not right through the middle of the piece of thread. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next signature. See how quick it's going? Okay. And then, so this is our third one. I'm going to go ahead and just alter my clips on these. So you don't have this flopping open. So we're going to come through the middle, boom, here, and then through the middle here, then we're going to go in through the top hole. And then we'll go all the way back down to the bottom here. Whoop, whoop. And, oh wait, there's my hole. Okay. And through there, and then back up here. Just making sure. Right. And then I'm going to go through this middle hole again, just making sure I don't go through the thread here. I'm going to pull that up there. Okay. The nice thing about having this end here is you can use this end to pull there, and then you only have to like work on tightening it through the middle here. Okay. All right, I'm going to clip my final signature together, and then I'll do my tightening up here. And then we can tie it off. And then what'll happen too is that your glue will be on this spine as well, so you won't have to worry about like things coming loose. We're gonna knot it and everything. Oh, I totally came up through there. Alright, now I'm just going to quickly go through this and tighten up all my pieces here. Okay, so just a quick tip for tightening this. These little stitches across the middle here are super handy for that. You can just pull up on this, pull up on this. Oh, wait, when you're pulling up on it, make sure you hold this end. Okay, so hold this end, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. If you have trouble getting the thread to go through, just stick your hand on the inside of the signature in the middle and just kind of help it a little bit. If you accidentally pierce your thread with your needle, like this, my needle was too sharp and it did go through one of the threads. So you have to fix that or else it won't allow you to like tighten the thread through. So you'll have to like backtrack and pull it out. That's just like a quick little tightening tip there. And then I'm just gonna knot this guy and call it a day. Pull that. We can put a little glue on this as well to kind of you know, like I'll put a dot of glue, 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 just, you know, just to help it, like, you know, stay in place. And it'll also be sandwiched, so there should not be, we shouldn't have any problems with it, you know what I mean? Coming loose or anything like that. Once the glue and stuff is on there. Okay, hopefully that all made sense. If you have any questions, just go ahead and put them in the description box below. Or not the description box, in the comments. Sorry, I am the description box. You guys are the comments. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to drop the signature block into here, just like this. It should fit perfectly. And then we'll glue down the flaps. Okay, so we'll start with the signature block. The signature back, sorry. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. There's that. And then I'll just spread this glue out here. I may have overglued this a little, but that's okay. All right, I am going to get, this is some of my Nuvo glue. I'm going to use this to put in my signatures. All right, I'm going to dot this. This is like my regular Nuvo. It's like the PVA style glue. I'm going to just dot that into my signatures holes and my knots, because like this glue is pretty quick. It's like boom, it'll take it really quick, and so that'll keep it nice and secure in there. Okay. All right, so now I have the top of my journal there, so I know this is the correct way to put that, so I'm going to put this down here. This glue will give me a, oh, whoops, I did want to put some extra glue on the back of this as well. Sorry, I got a little carried away. I just want to put a little bit on this side too, so that the other side doesn't have to bear the like brunt of the having all the glue. Okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of, you can kind of feel it fit into the spot. I need to just take a check here and make sure I'm even on the top and the bottom. And then I can drop my flaps down too. And then I'll glue one side at a time for those. I also need to be careful here because I think I got some glue on the table. I don't want to get that on my journal. I'm just going to hold this here for a second. I'll speed it up through this part, just so that, because I want it to kind of really stick down. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stick some glue down on this, and then just flatten that out. I hope you guys can see this okay, because I have this up, because I don't want to disturb the spine right now. I'm going to go ahead and flatten that down here, and you don't have to worry hugely about this part right here because we're going to cover it with the end papers, you know, but just make sure it's, you know, glued down pretty solidly. So there's like a lot of like checks and balances throughout this journal on like all the different parts, just to hold things together securely throughout the whole book. You know, because so like this is glued to the outside cover, this will glue on top of everything else, and so it'll just like, you know, everything's sandwiched really well. Okay, so I'm going to pick this side up, I'm going to drop this side down, and then we're going to glue this one. Tuck my thread in there, and I can put a little extra glue here on the edges to make sure everything gets in there and gets nice and gluey. And I'll just drop this one down. And it goes right in there. Okay. Now I'm just going to make sure I can bend this because I did put glue in that crease. I'm just going to make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. Our signatures are nicely stitched in. We got some breathing room right here, which is good. Okay, so now what we want to do is glue our... I just want to make sure I got all my stuff even, sorry. Okay, yeah, now what we want to do is glue in our end papers, and then I want to leave this, I'm going to need to leave mine alone for a little while to dry, which is going to be hard, because I definitely want to mess with it now that it's all glued together. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to glue our end papers on. If for any reason anything doesn't line up perfectly, and honestly, not everything will, and it doesn't, you know, it just doesn't. It, you know, it's paper, it's glue, you know, it's scissors, it's all those sorts of things. So, we can just trim it, so it's not a big deal. All right, I'm going to try to get this glue as close to the edge as I can to this, because I want this to be glued down pretty seamlessly on here. I should have probably gotten my like little mat, but I'll just get a baby wipe to clean up the glue. I might need a little extra, but I want to make sure that this is glued right to the edge on the paper, so this lies completely flat and doesn't peel up. Now, it's very, very likely that we'll be putting ephemera and stuff on top of, you know, these areas. Like, this is going to be for my back, and I definitely want to put like a big pocket on that. So it'll also have that to kind of shore it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to flip this here. And then the nice thing about this thing is it does lie flat. So, all right, so we're just going to line up our edges as best we can here. Whoops. I like to futz around a little bit, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I got it all. I'm worried I want to make sure it's right. Okay, in there. Okay, I think it is. And I'll just hold this down for a second. And hopefully you guys are getting yours glued down too. At the same time, I'm going to need to add a little glue to my corners, it looks like. I'm going to flip this to the side here to do that. I just want to make sure I get those down really good. And I can clip them too to hold them down. A little bit more glue on this corner. And like I said, anything that doesn't line up exactly perfectly, I'm just going to trim. I did the same thing, I think, on my Winter Wonder journal. Okay. Here's this one. It might help if I run, it might have been smarter if I had put the glue on this side, so I'm going to try that this time. There we go. And I'll spread that out too so I get it all the way to the edge. And then we'll get this guy. Go like that direction. We'll just get that right in there. This glue will give you a second, so that's actually good. I did try this with double-sided tape, and that was the worst experience of my life. So I would not recommend trying to use tape for this unless you're very precise and have a tremendous amount of patience. I usually have patience, but I do not have enough patience to do tape on this. It was a hot mess. Let's see here. I'm just going to make sure my bend still works. That's like the most important thing. And then I'm just going to go ahead and clip my corners just like I did on the other one, just so this can have a little extra help to adhere. And I'll probably just leave this be overnight, and then I'll come back. I have very little misalignment on this that I can see. Oh, see here. Okay, so I do have a little bit here, but remember I said I cut. It's because I cut my spine with the decal trimmer, so I'm just going to need to trim that off. That's just a little bit of extra from that situation. So I'll take care of that, though, once this is all dry. Okay, this is step one. of our Nature's Neutrals journal. I could have possibly picked a better name for this, but I feel like Nature's Neutrals really just says it all, you know what I mean? So, I'm not going to be able to sit here and not cut this. Okay, so, but the bottom line here is that we got our journal made, and now we can move on to doing some other fun stuff to it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting out my ephemera, and then you guys can throw down in the comments any requests that you might have for things that you might want to do in this journal, things that give you a problem, things you have questions about, stuff like that. Because what I will do, basically what I'm going to do with this is just go through it and build it out like, you know, like I would just a regular journal. So we'll just randomly work on stuff. So like one day we may go through and put in a whole bunch of pockets, and then the next day maybe we'll go in and we'll do like tags for those pockets, and then we'll do page edges, and then we'll do maybe some clusters for the tops of pages, and then maybe we'll, you know, just, I guess, you know, I want to go through and do some stamping, stuff like that. So, you know, if there's any particular things that you have either struggled with or would love to include, or have questions about using, like pieces of the kit, like how would I use this, I will definitely do a video where I will put together all of the little mini projects so that you'll have like a clear understanding of how those go together. They're not super difficult, but, you know, like I came up with them in my brain, and, you know, so it's not necessarily like super intuitive for other people's brains to take a look at something on a page and be like, oh yeah, that's how it goes together. So I will do a video coming up very soon with those one-page projects, and then you guys just throw your stuff, your questions and your info down in the comments, and then I'll take a look at those and put together another couple of videos, and then we'll just go from there. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and I hope you crafted along with me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just really appreciate it. I just absolutely love doing these projects together. I love your feedback. I love all of your comments, and I'm so super thankful for all of the amazing positive feedback that I've gotten from this kit. It was a labor of love, and it was 1000% worth it. I couldn't be happier with A, how it turned out, and B, how much you guys love it. So thank you guys again. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We're going to be doing lots of projects this year, so you want to get in on it early. As I see a lot of comments down there that are like, oh, I wish I'd done this earlier. I know there's still some folks out there doing Winter Wonder. So please subscribe, please like the video, and please join me next time for another Nature's Neutrals video. See you guys then.